Hi, and thanks for tuning in to MAR Talks. My name is Carrie Cavers, and I'm the founder of Moms Against Racism Canada. And I'm zooming to you as an uninvited guest on the unceded ancestral lands of the Lekwungen speaking peoples, now referred to as Victoria, BC. I am grateful to the Songhees, Esquimalt, and Wasanic First Nations who have stewarded these lands time immemorial, such that here, where I live, work, play, and raise my children, we're able to enjoy the natural beauty that is the West Coast of Canada. And this month, in honor of International Women's Day, Women's History Month, and the UN International Day for the Elimination of Racial Discrimination, our theme is Revolutionary Mothering. And our theme is inspired by the book with the same name, Revolutionary Mothering, Love on the Front Lines, which is a co-edited anthology by Alexis Pauline Gumbs, China Martins, and Maya Williams. And it explores the idea that mothering not only means taking care of one's own children, but it also means building community and ensuring survival for the future generations, and building that generation so that they will continue that resistance against oppression. And it's with those radical acts of caretaking and supporting life that is fundamental to raising children who become equity champions and builders of revolutionary communities of love, diversity, and inclusion. And so I'm very excited today to be talking with Roen Higgins, founder of Trooth Empire and the Elevated Creative. And Roen has a very interesting story. And from a hyper at-risk youth entangled in the system to an active community change agent, Roen is a committed educator, coach, speaker, and event producer. She's known to flip words and paint pictures through her diction and uses her story to help others elevate impact. Her community service and creative accomplishments have been recognized by Montreal Community Care Awards, Black Theatre Workshop, and FONS 1804. She's created events such as Shift, a ladies' soul revival, and The Lineup, Grooming for Greatness, a boys to men event, as well as empowerment movements such as Trooth Empire, which was birthed to empower youth to know their heritage, identity, and to leave a legacy through literacy. And that's not all. In the ring of improv and slam poetry, she echoes the realities of society, yet never leaving the mic without a solution. Dubbed as Blu Riva, her unique style, flow, and delivery has gained her opportunities to perform before different audiences in different time zones. Her present projects are coaching multi-passionate creatives get unstuck and tap into their creative potential, as well as releasing a poetry project this year, and of course, fostering the Trooth Empire movement. Hi, Roen.
Hey.
Thanks so much for being with me today.
Thank you, Carrie, for inviting me on this platform with your awesome mission. I think it's amazing and so necessary, and people are seeing it, especially in these times.
Yeah. Thank you. So, revolutionary mothering. For all our interviewees, we're asking them the same 3 questions. So if you're ready, I will start asking. Okay. So first question, what does revolutionary mothering mean to you?
Well, since young, I think any question that comes my way, I try to break it down. I think of the word revolution, period, right? Because we all believe what we know as, we understand what mothering is. But revolution, I would never really have put the term together. And now when I think of it, revolution to me is about thorough change, transformation. And as a mom who's looking at my parenting or what I've done in the community of taking on, making impact with other children and young people, I do think of the word love, the word compassion. I am a tough love person. I'm a person like, yo, let's go, let's roll. We got this. You know, I'm like that coach that comes at you hard, but it's love. And when you look at the word revolution, you flip those 4 letters there in revolution, it's love. And that's what I think of, a transformation through loving. We all have our different ways of doing it. We have our different ways of why we do it. I come from a heritage of Jamaican matriarchal family. They're very strong. And the way they've inoculated certain things in me, oral history, faith-based, and you know, they speak life. They pour into you, but in a way, when you're younger, you're like, oh my gosh, you know what I mean? It's like, you better listen to me, you know, it's like the licks and the harshness but that tough love, when you look at the intention behind it, I think is what I remind myself as a mother. I'm going to try to be a more transparent and communicate more clearly of why I'm parenting in the way that I am, because I love you, because I'm trying to protect you, because out there, that world, I'm not gonna say it's ugly out there, but there's different faces that you may not recognize and understand. But I've been here long enough to help you get through that as a guide, you know? So I think that's really what I believe revolutionary mothering is we're here in the front lines together, as not alone, because my whole thing is about community care, as a circle of women. And then there's the family context, but in a society in North America where we're disjointed and all over the place, like you could be my cousin, you're on the totally other end of Canada, my sister's out there, you know what I mean? We're disjointed. We don't have extended family and support. So as women, they may be your neighbor and not your family, but we need to band together to make that revolution even more stronger.
100%. And I think for me, when I read this book, I was gifted this book, and that was one of the big things that stuck out for me, was that community mothering, and that being revolutionary. So I totally agree with you. So then what ways do you, and you touched on it a little bit, but what ways do you practice revolutionary mothering? And this might be with your parenting, or like, as you say, within the community or within the organizations that you run, or the events that you put on. How does that look for you?
Definitely, I'll say showing up. I think from the moment of conception and knowing that, okay, there's another life, you know, even as an educator, this person is dependent on me to care for them, or someone's expecting resources from me, or I feel like I have something to offer based off my experiences, and planting that seed and being unapologetic if I have to stand up for someone, because whether they were abused or they're homeless right now, and I have to provide a resource or a source of something that can make an impact in their life. So I have a 17-year-old, and you know, we all see the transitions from in utero to toddler stage, and then there's the pre-adolescence, you know, and we see these different phases. And I think the first thing is also being transparent, like, hey, this is new to me, because even if you have 5 kids, they're all so different. Your parenting is never the same. The different stages is never the same. Just like my students are different. And so it's not looking at, I hear some moms like, oh, you know, you can't find these things in a book, or what your mother told you. No, because every phase of life is different. And first thing is checking in on yourself. You know, we say, okay, make sure you put the mask on yourself. Mother yourself first. You know, whether you're orphaned or you're born with a gold spoon in your mouth, no matter where you come from and what you think you have, if we don't pour into ourselves first, we are walking empty. And I've gone through the whole burnout of putting community first, putting family first, putting everyone else before me first, and paying for it. And one of my favorite quotes that I'm a quote junkie, but believe it or not, this doesn't sound so simple, but no is a full sentence. I was like, oh my God. No exclamation point is a full sentence. So setting boundaries is so key as a mother, as an individual. That's true self-care for me. Before the pampering and the bath and the spa and the facials, no, because we as givers, we're designed to give and pour and be apologetic. Even when something's wrong, we start to feel awkward, and maybe I'm wrong. As a woman, we're designed that way, right? We're nurturers. So even when you're in a position not to fill someone else's cup, we'll continue to pour. So, yeah.
Thank you.
My mind was still a run-on answer. I was like, I think I get past.
No, I was there with you, and I feel like you may have called me out just a little bit there, because I am definitely one of those people who just gives and gives and gives. And I mean, for me personally, part of it is that it's rewarding too, to
Yeah.
be building those communities and to be giving those things. But I think, as you say, it's so important and revolutionary, really, to mother ourselves
Yes.
and
Yes.
to give that care back to ourselves too, so that we're not burning out and that we can still be supporting, right?
Yes.
We're no good if we're burnt out.
That's it. You know, the oxygen mask, you have to put it on yourself first before you could save anyone else. And that's the analogy I had to learn and say, you know, what really matters, and am I pouring into my first sanctuary, my first home, my first school, is this space, you know, and I got to make sure I'm nurturing me and nurturing those around me. Um, so it's something I had to, as I say, flip the script on real quick, and it's a daily practice. It's something I have to say, okay, what is my intention today, and how will I make an impact, and is this aligned with the values that I have every day? Is this part of my mission? And if it's not, it's like, no, it's like, let me get back to you and think, because our nature is to say, yeah, no problem, you know, pause. And that's very hard for me because I'm a go-go person, you know, like, and it's like, it's just like parenting. Parenting yourself is the same thing. There's different phases of you. And then we get to a different age and things are changing, especially, I don't know, I'm assuming we're same generation, sandwich generation,
Mm.
taking care of our parents and our children and those around us. And especially if you have an audience, a platform like what you're doing, it's more to nurture. So finding balance is something I used to seek. Now it's more integrating and saying, okay, work life integration, but where's the self in all of this? Add that to the list and just adjust and go with the flow to an extent, but make sure I'm managing it. And it's just it's so different now than trying to, I'm going to balance everything. It's unrealistic. Something's going to take a hit and I got to focus. Okay, as a mother, how am I mothering myself, my child, and even my own mother?
Mm.
So it's very interesting of seeing that in this generation of like being in that sandwich of a caregiver, the compassionate care that mothers always have, but the burdens that it takes a toll, right? So
And so, would you extend that message to um, the communities that you're mothering as well?
definitely, as I've recognized it, the different phases, right? So when I'm a young mom, I was 25 when I had my daughter, and I'm with other women my age, and we did things together, and it was more about like food prep and crocheting little booties, you know, and it was different. And our bodies were different. Now it's like, okay, my iron's low. How are you doing? Girl, you need to take this supplement. You know, like, did you drink your water? I don't think I ever drank water, like maybe. Now it's like 2 bottles before 9 a.m. and you know, and really working on my schedule because you're not as sharp or have the brain fog. And we're getting to know our bodies different too, because the changes. And it's a lot of lessons. And then it makes you realize, no, I need to take care of me before I fall apart. Like the aches and pains and the, you know, you're like, what's happening? We're getting older. And we've been just giving because we had this energy and this drive as a young mother to like pick up a stroller and 6 grocery bags. And now I'm like, thank God I drive, you know?
It's a trip getting older.
It is. So as a mother, it's a reminder, like mother yourself first and get the support you need. Do not think you can do it alone. I'm one of those people that speaks about the S on our chest. I was one of those proud women is like, I'm a superwoman. I got the cape. Check me out. Now I'm like, I don't need to be a superwoman. I have a super motherhood, a circle of mothers, a circle of aunties, circle of empowering individuals in my life. And there's each of them have a different resource, skill set, and power. So why not come together and work together? And once I did that, I was like, we need to stop with the feeling the need that I can do it all by myself. Because in the end, it's bad all by yourself, right? Literally. So
Yeah, so true. And that in itself is revolutionary. I think that that's the messaging that we get in this society, is to be superhuman and to do it all on your own. And so creating that community around you is, like you say, is so important. And it's definitely a lesson that I've had to learn to just
and not
put
to feel guilty to reach out,
that.
reach out. And it's okay as a mother in the different stages. Like I had recently written a poem, like, well, recently last year, I'm a witness after George Floyd, like even seeing that imagery and then looking at my child after Sandra Bland, that's actually the first time I was like, as a mother now, what do I tell my child? And I wrote a piece, no matter what they tell you, how your hair look, how you walk, how you speak, your complexion, no matter what, I felt the need all of a sudden to tell my child, you are beautiful, you are special, you are bright, you are amazing. That wasn't in my parenting before. I spoke life into her, but not with the same conviction that I felt I had to armor her with these uh, mantras or affirmations and declarations that when she goes out, she may be able to survive what's happening. I never thought in this day and age I would have to do that. But we're reminded of what we see, that it hasn't changed. The foundation of hate and racism and all these things that we're seeing has not really changed. It's there. But how can we as a collective empower our children and educate others, our allies, to make a difference? And that's the true, I feel like, the motherboard of it all, you know, like, let's rewire everything. And we can't change like, you know, there'll always be people who have a different school of thought, and hatred's a whole nother uneducated, like, keep it real, you know. It comes from a place of fear. It comes from a place of learning scripts from a very young age, or from the media, because even we've learned it. Self-hate, the bleaching, not knowing, like feeling you have to fit in, and, oh, I'm going to work as a news anchor, I got to perm my hair, you know, whatever that is, all these mixed messages. So speaking life more into, but more from a place from love, because I remember I was doing it out of fear, you know, and that's where my poem comes. Don't wear your hoodie, you look too much like this. Don't get a black car, don't get the Mercedes. Now it's like, as long as you're aware, know that I love you, stay safe. Because we start to inject that fear into our children, or even our peers. Even my guy friends would call me when you get home. It's coming from a place of fear. And like I said, the revolution, the fighter in me, I had to find the love in the word revolution, flip the script literally, and just pour love, and not from a place of fear, just knowing that we are okay, we are overcomers, but we are also lovers. We need to find that black joy, that magic, the excellence that we speak about, and not the excellence that we strive for to, I got to be greater, that your parent says, you got to work 10 times harder than your peers. You got to do this much more. You got to get to work early. You got to dress better. No, I don't. And I'm 42, and I'm learning to peel that back. I should be able to show up like everyone else, unapologetic, authentically me, and not have to feel I have to be 10 times better than my peers. So it's a lot. It's a day by day, but love is, for me, it's the key, because I've been a fighter my whole life. You know, I change his bread, probably look like, you know, but I'm learning to just scale back and teach in love. And those who get it, get it. Those who don't, I pray and meditate and I hope, but keep shining light no matter what.
Thank you. I totally can relate to being the fighter, and having that shift of going from that place of fear, doing things out of fear, to doing things out of love, and
Yes.
breathing that love in. And even like I find that, like, with Moms Against Racism, we, like, there's, with anti-racism work, there's so much work to be done, so many different ways to do it. Like, and for us, we're really focused on that love and that compassion part.
Mm-hmm.
And having that brave space in those challenging conversations, but holding that space. Because when you're in a fear state, you're not learning, you're not growing.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
So on that note, and you started weaving that way, and I thought, oh, I'm not even going to have to ask her this next question. But for those who are watching now or later, what advice do you have for those people who want to be allies and want to be dismantlers of racism?
Oh, yes. I would just say continue to, well, if they haven't started, it's to explore, to educate yourself, to read, to have conversations, not in a way that's putting a burden on someone else and saying, please feed me, I need to learn from you. But there are so many great books out there. And there are already allies. There are people that are activists and educators and mentors in this space. In this day and age, it's so wonderful to see the allies that have stepped up. And I think it's really just one, the fact that you're open to learning, that's like half the battle. And I embrace that and I encourage that, and have conversations amongst like-minded individuals. But there is a lot of information out there and resources. And even when I walk into Indigo, you know, you go into chapters and you see this whole shelf of anti-racism books. I'm like, I have never, like, I'm getting educated, you know, just by knowing that's out there. I'm like, that's the shift that I see that gives me hope. Because sometimes I'm like, this is never going to change. Like, come on, 2020, about to be 2022. Let's be real. But then those moments just enrich me to feel like I don't have to be the one to do the work, you know. And I think that's it's a good feeling that people are stepping up and putting it out there, no matter what color. Because sometimes people want to educate, they're like, well, I'm not Black, I don't feel like I'm worthy. And then they have that whole limiting beliefs and you know, imposter syndrome, like, I don't want anybody to judge me. And I encourage those who even feel that way, that's just fear. It's just an unknown space, and you will feel alone. We all feel alone for anything that we do that's different, right? So just to be out there, and again, the community, the circle, the motherhood, there's the sisterhood, you know, come together, and together we're stronger. So, and just like, I mean, the name is Mothers Against Racism. It's not mother, you're not by yourself. So add the S to mothers and connect, align, and together we are definitely stronger.
Oh, Rowan, thank you so much.
No, thank
It's been
you.
wonderful. I feel like we could probably chat forever, and I hope
Yes.
that we do get to chat again sometime soon. But for those who want to find out more about Rowan and all her wonderful projects, you can follow her on Instagram at Roen Higgins. You can see it in her Zoom name there, or visit her website, roenhiggins.com. So again, thank you so much, Rowan, for all the creative and revolutionary ways you are mothering your communities. The world definitely needs your radical acts of love.
Thank you so much. And this platform is amazing. It's new to me, and I will definitely be exploring and following the other powerhouse women that you bring on here.
Thank you. Well, we'll talk again soon.
Okay, thank you.
Have a great day.
Take care. Bye.